Very warm welcome to the weekly Forex forecast for the 3rd of November. My name is Chris from thetradingmentors.com and we're going to go straight into the DXY, the US dollar index, which gives us a flavour of what we can expect into next week. We can see that there's been a slight rally in terms of the US dollar, but there is a big problem, isn't there? As you can see by the supply zone here at 100. So in order for us to trade any dollar pairs, we do have to see a clear definition. So if we are going to sell the DXY, it has to break these trend lines here and then head for 96.76. If the continued trend is to the upside, then of course we have to wait for the price to break this supply zone and then move up to 101.50. But don't forget, this week it's an important week because we have a non-farm payroll week on Friday, and so that's going to have a massive impact probably on US dollar. There's also inflation data exactly at the same time on Friday, so look out for that. And even tomorrow there's ISM manufacturing PMI as well at 3 p.m. so we'll keep an eye on that. It could be an interesting time. So the dollar's going to be mixed into next week, I believe, due to the news. So we won't be trading any of the dollar pairs into next week unless we see any kind of change. Euro dollar, we're looking for this to break to the upside. As we can see, there's massive support down here. However, the sellers are in at the moment, and once the sellers are in, then the price tends to go down. In order for us to buy into the euro dollar, we need to see the dollar weaken and confirmed a break of the trend line as previously mentioned, and then we can look for buys back up to 11876. Continued downside, if the dollar remains strong, is 11437. Pound is weak, hit our target of 131.98 from last week's forecast. So unless we see any change in direction for the dollar, then I suspect we're going to see further weakness in terms of the pound USD down to 127.50 into this week. Congratulations on the Aussie move, a beautiful move here actually into a very strong demand area, and the price has gone up. As the buyers are all in, so we do expect this to drive higher. All the buyers are in. When all the sellers are in, price goes down. When all the buyers are in, the price goes up. That's how it works. Very simple, very straightforward. So we do have a target of 66.50. However, in order to drive this higher, the price has to move up, of course, but the dollar has to weaken in order for this to drive this to 66.50. So we could see this mixed. We can have a look at the 4-hour chart. This is the dollar index, by the way, but let's have a look at the Aussie. And we can see that the 4-hour chart was confirmed as a buying opportunity. When everything goes green, just buy it. Everything goes green, just buy it. It's a continuation pattern. New Zealand Kiwi, New Zealand USD, mixed. Now the US yen, got all the buys in on the US yen, so the further stronger dollar will drive this higher. Nice move here downwards, and then all the buyers stepped in to the upside. We can see that clearer on the 4-hour chart. Here we can see this here as it moved down into demand, and just whenever you see the price move or everything goes green, just buy it. Especially if it aligns beautifully with the daily chart as well. There's a sell power 64 here, so this could be mixed into next week. US Canadian not really doing much. US Swiss stronger, of course. However, this is doing exactly the opposite to the euro dollar, isn't it? So any kind of weakness in the dollar will drive this much lower. I think it could come up to this area with a stronger dollar, up to 81.50, where there's highly likely to be a rejection here, and the price move back down to 78.61 if dollar goes weaker. Big if. I mentioned this last week in the weekly Forex forecast. The price was moving up to 66.50. It got rejected eventually, of course, and the price fell down, and all the sellers came in. We can see that on the 4-hour chart quite clearly. Right here, and we can see that that's exactly what you're looking for. Once you see this going on, guys, just trade it and then just hold it. So sell, hold, 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 squeeze as much profit as you can out of the markets. That's the key to your long-term success. Flicking through the Swiss yen, a beautiful move down into support here. Outside bar, very strong. That's going back into October, of course. But now it looks a bit top heavy, so we do expect the price to come down into some kind of support area before it starts to move up. Euro yen, beautiful move down, then it all goes green, and then that's when you want to buy it. Just buy it, don't hesitate. Again, looking for a pull back into next week. This is absolutely stunning, isn't it? A beautiful move on the Aussie yen. Congratulations, VIP members. If you're not in the VIP room, then please just click on the links below, and the price does that. On the lower time frame, the 4-hour chart, we can see the action here. There is your trade. Very simple, very straightforward. Just wait for everything to go green, everything to go green, and there is your trade. Beautiful 351 pip move. If you want the charts and you want coaching for 12 months, just go to thetradingmentors.com or click on this link here. It's in the description, where you have a free access to my daily updates. There's about 4 rooms you can go into, but this one is free, so just give you regular updates on what's going on. Now we do have a sell on the Canadian yen, and we can see that we have convergence into this very strong supply zone with a sell power of 71. This is a technique which we use quite often during overbought, oversold conditions. So the bias for this is just simply a correction rather than a reversal. So we can see that the price is probably going to come down to 108.83. Pound yen has not really done much in the last few weeks, has it? It hasn't rallied since back in October, a long time ago, and it's been pretty mixed so far. So the yens are looking pretty quiet so far, so we'll keep an eye on that. Let's go back to the daily so we can see what's going on with the Swiss franc futures. The Swiss franc futures are looking flat, but there's something going on here which I like the look of. I'm looking to go long the Swiss franc futures, in other words, all the pairs, Euro Swiss, Aussie Swiss, etc., to go down, the opposite. But I want to see the price break this trend line here and then move to 128.48. It's beautiful double bottom here and into this Fibonacci sequence here. And by the time it does this, then all the buyers will be in anyway. So keep an eye on that. You're looking to go short all the Swiss pairs. Now the Aussie Swiss is doing this. Now isn't that beautiful? Absolutely beautiful setup into supply zone here. You can see that it's a long-term supply zone. It's not just a fresh one. This goes back months and months and into a Fibonacci sequence here as well. So highly likely to fall down. So our target is going to be 50-50. 50-50. We can look at this on the 4-hour chart. I will be sending a signal on this as soon as it's ready. On the 4-hour chart, let's have a look at this. So absolutely brilliant. So here we can see that the price is rallying so far, but I want to see this price move a little bit more to the upside, and we can see where this long-term supply zone, and then we're looking for rejection. There's divergence in the market already, but we are going to see it down to 51 or 50-50. We can see it's very strong power of 64, so very nice indeed. Euro Swiss is not looking as good. Canadian Swiss looking just as good. Look out for this power of 75. Very, very strong rejection. So there will be some liquidity sweeps up here. We're doing this, and then the market will take it back down to 56.70. One of my favorite trades coming up. So Aussie Swiss, Canadian Swiss, keep an eye on those guys. New Zealand Swiss, you don't want to be trading Aussie Swiss and New Zealand Swiss anyway. Pound Swiss is looking really odd. I think probably due to the weakness of the sterling in the last few weeks. Came up to a beautiful supply zone and then rejected it, but there's no real definition here. Now, silver is interesting, isn't it? There's been a change of character here, so I do expect the price to fall down actually into next week. How far it goes, nobody knows, but I think into $46, something like that, could be an interesting area to look out for as a target. We can go diving deeper into the market here, and silver on the 4-hour chart. We can see that that's now hitting a strong, well, we can't say it's strong, but we can say that it's a supply zone here with a double kind of top. Gold, we could see another rally in gold, but if we go to the daily, yeah, we could see a rally in gold. There we go. So we could see it bottoming out here, and the bottom was 38.84. So any kind of rally is going to be probably limited up to this zone here, this sell zone, 4100, 4100. So just keep an eye on that. So you're going to see something like this in the next few days with a stronger dollar that will drive that week down. But a weaker dollar would actually drive this higher, so that combination could be interesting. This is a strong trend line, so if you're going to be selling up here at 4100, then it's a good target here at 39.50. We'll be using the gold on steroid software to confirm anyway. Into the indices, we can see there's been a rally in the S&P 500 for a long time. Target is 7046, but I really want to see a pullback here. Everyone's talking about a crash, but I'm not seeing it yet. 9613 was hit, so we do expect a continuation of the FTSE 100 to 10,186. But again, I want to see a pullback into these zones here before we go long on these situations. The Hang Seng is looking, looks like it's in trouble. There's been a change of character here, as you can see. When you see a rally, it's very easy to see it, isn't it? Just buy it when it all goes green. Just buy when it all goes green. Just buy when it all goes green. Just buy when it all goes green. Keep it simple. Join me in the trading team if you want to. In Telegram. This is the Aussie 200 index, mixed. German DAX, mixed. It did have the bounce that we expected into 24,492, which is our target. Congratulations. It hit that. Probably going to go back up to that area again. Something like this, if you are a DAX, German DAX trader. Something like that. US 30, Dow Jones Index, heading for 48,673. Pullback, wait for a pullback, any kind of pullback by the rallies. Same with the NASDAQ, hit 25,69, whatever that, 676. And now it's broken through it, so we expect further upside. Let's see where this is going. Wow. If it's going to continue, next target is 27,311. Oil mixed at the moment. We did see a sell-off off this demand area the last few weeks, now hitting demand area, so there was a buying opportunity up to $63. Now heading back down to $58.20. Now this is one of the hot trades, so look out for this. Don't miss this move, please. This is exactly what we're looking for in terms of strong demand zones. When we see this happening here, you have at least 3 times failed to go any lower on a strong demand area. It probably will go down a little bit more, but there's likely to be a big strong bounce into this area here, and then head for this supply zone at 1800, somewhere around here or somewhere around here. This is red hot, so please don't ignore it. Now the pound has been weaker, pound Aussie, but you can see clearly these indications here. These tools are amazing. They tell you when the price is coming up into a very strong supply zone, and now we've been buying into the Euro Aussie now. Euro Canadian, another red hot one. This is red hot. It's not bitten yet. We did get stopped out for a small loss earlier this week, but I do expect this price to bounce into this area. Again, probably going to see this weaker for the first few days, but this trend line is going to hold this, or this demand area is going to hold this. And then there's going to be a big move to 164.26. Please do not ignore this. We can go down to the 4-hour chart. We can see this Euro Canadian. Okay, now if it comes down further, which it looks like it wants to, we will change the change of character figures. 162.20 is the breakout. However, there's a big gap here now between the demand area, so I think this price could drift down, and then we're going to work out another change of character. Now the good news is that will give us even more profits once this move starts to make a move much higher. Please do not ignore these opportunities. Similar for the pound Canadian. Have a look at this. This is coming deep into an area of strong demand and hit our target from last week. So we do expect the price to come back up to 188.35, but it's not biting yet. As you can see, it may come down into demand, but certainly there's going to be a big move here. Another hot one, red hot, is the pound New Zealand. Have a look at this. This is beautiful. So we expect the price to go to 23.45 and this supply zone here from this area here. Again, it may drift down, but look out. Look out, there's going to be a big bounce into this area. The Fibonacci's don't lie. It could come in deeper, but nonetheless, this is highly likely to move and make a lot of money. So 23.45 is the figure there. Same for the Euro New Zealand. See that? Not quite as deep, is it? But it's coming into demand, so any kind of pullback. This could move first before the pound New Zealand because of the weakness of the sterling. So we could see something like this before it bites, and then we're going to have a trade to the upside up to 2040. Bitcoin's been mixed, hasn't it? Bitcoin really hasn't done much in the last few weeks. We can see that there's no sense of direction, if you know what I mean. I think that if we see a break into this area, then we could see a change and back up to 126,000. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Now, this is interesting. The Euro Pound has now what we call an outside bar. This is very not very common. It is one you can ignore. Okay, so we're likely to see a big correction down into this area of 87.30 into next week. There's going to be a signal coming for VIP members on the signal room. We can see that here on the 4-hour chart. So if you want to join me, please do. thetradingmentors.com. All the links are in description. Totally up to you.